I'm quite liberal on immigration. I'm here. But it's not like I don't get the conservative argument. I totally get it. People jumping the border, getting all the same rights as Americans. I don't know if I'm down with that either. I understand that. It'd be like, sir, if I broke into your house. If I broke into your house, I'm like, I know I should not have done that. But now that I'm here, can I have my own room? I get the argument. It's just, I don't know that I agree with it because we're Americans and we can be dicks about immigration. On the border, we put a state called New Mexico. The dick move. Especially when this is old Mexico. We're taunting Mexicans to come over here. When the British divided India in parts, if they would have called Pakistan New India, my dad's side of the family might have stayed over there. Because we're Indian, we're just looking for a good deal. Same price, newer, we'll stay. I actually did not think I would become a full-time stand-up comedian. I went to school to be a doctor, because obviously. After I graduated, I went to go work at P&G. Procter & Gamble, P&G, the Peach, as I love to call it, the Peach. I worked there. The reason I use some slang is because a lot of people of color who worked at the Peach. I'm a brown guy. My manager was black. Well, he probably still is. I just haven't seen him in a while. That'd be weird. Calvin, what happened? I got promoted. The thing is, white people, you can loosen up. You know why? Because white people think when people of color get together, we're making fun of you. We are not. We're making fun of each other without your guilt, all right? That's what's going on. Because Calvin and I would bust on each other all the time. He was my boss. I remember one afternoon, I walked up to him. I'm like, hey, Calvin, are you free? He goes, since 1863, dog. It's a good joke. Take that to Hollywood, son. The thing is, brown people and black people were mixing a lot back then. Deepak Chopra became the most famous South Asian in America by appearing on a show hosted by Oprah Winfrey. They were a great duo. I wish they would have gotten married. She could have been Oprah Chopra. Calvin belonged to the, as it was called at the time, the African American Affinity Group at the Peach. And I belonged to the Asian one. And I almost didn't join it because they were rushing me to join the Asian Affinity Group at Procter & Gamble. And I said, well, I don't really know about that because y'all are mostly East Asian. I'm South Asian. But they're like, all right, well then don't join the group. That's your loss because the company is paying for us to take a 4-day, 3-night, all expenses paid trip to San Francisco. I'm like, I'm Asian. We're all the same, right? We say namaste, you say ni hao. We can combine them, namastao. I can head nod and bow at the same time. I'm in, let's go. All right, I told my white friend, I go, look, we're doing all this stuff. He goes, I don't think that's fair, though. I don't think that's fair. How come you guys get these, all expenses paid trips to go to the coast and all this stuff? You get to meet the CEO. You put all the Latinos in the room at the same time, all the blacks in the room at the same time, all the browns in the room at the same time. He's going on and on. He goes, I can't put a bunch of white people in the same room at the same time. I go, yeah, you can. It's called a board meeting. Chill out, white people. Still your country, all right? Chill out. It's okay. Speaking of the Chinese, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky was grilling then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on Capitol Hill about the Benghazi hearings. That's a lot of proper nouns and prepositions. But you remember this, right? Republicans were giving Hillary a lot of hell about the confirmation process and all that. And he brought up our tour. He goes, you guys spent $100,000 sending 3 comedians to India. That was our tour! Because of that crazy Republican in Kentucky, we're part of the congressional record. Except in our moment of glory, he called it Make Chi Not War. Which would have been Chinese. Now, this part of it did not make it into the congressional record. I will say right now that one of the great improvements in India is the bathroom situation. It's way better, okay? I remember going with my parents in 1985, and they had the squat toilets. All right, people ask why we do yoga. They're like, is it tied into meditation and inner peace? I'm like, no. Not inner peace, outer pieces, okay? We're trying not to fall in the toilet. Too bad my son's not here, he'd love that joke, okay. We're on our way from Kolkata to Durgapur. And you know it's a true story because I cannot pronounce Durgapur. I would have picked another city. But we were on our way from Kolkata to Durgapur in this 3-hour ride in this red van. We're late per usual, and I really have to go to the bathroom. So we're almost there. I'm like, I cannot hold it anymore. I'm shifting in my seat. I'm not even shifting in my seat. I'm full-on Punjabi dancing. You know, like I just cannot even, like that's where our dancing comes from too. I just cannot hold it in at all. Like I'm dying. They pull over the van to this line of shops and stores, and I get out. And I have to go to the bathroom so badly, I can now speak Hindi. Because I don't speak Hindi. And I was always ashamed of the fact that I don't speak Hindi, but it's because I was born in this country before 1984. That's my theory. The mantra at the time was assimilation. If you're born in this country before 84, you probably don't speak your native tongue. Now, after this, you ask the kids these days, they speak Rajasthani and Punjabi and Gujarati, and that's just the Tamil kids. They're really smart. But I walked up and I asked this guy, I was like, washroom kahan hai? Washroom kahan hai? You may know this about South Asia. Nobody's gonna tell you where anything is. I've never had anybody tell me where anything is located. They're just gonna tell you where the next guy is standing. Who's gonna tell you where the next guy is standing? Who's gonna tell you where the next guy is standing? And that's the great thing about having 1.4 billion people. There's always the next guy standing. I get to the end, it's like swinging through the jungle like Tarzan on vines, and they keep appearing. This is why South Asians are so good at the internet. Before it launched, this was our network, okay? We're getting all the way to the end, and I see this guy standing there. I'm like, washroom kahan hai? He points at a sign. This time, it does not read man. It does not read men. It reads gents. 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 For gentlemen. I think this is gonna be a nice bathroom. I open up the door and it takes me right back outside again. It's just a hole. It's literally the whole bathroom. It is a hole in the ground. Never in my life have I felt more like a gentleman, by the way. Cars are whizzing by, I'm whizzing into a hole. At least they could give me a top hat and a cane, I could feel like a gentleman. I go in to complain, I'm like, there's a hole in the toilet. He goes, that is the toilet. I'm a big fan of black music in general, pop, funk, disco, but I'm a big hip hop guy. And hip hop has a different tradition. It came out like the blues. It was oppressed music in the 80s, and that was a very, very different thing until 1992, when Biggie Smalls dropped the lyric, birthdays was the worst days, now we sip champagne when we thirsty. That's Biggie right there, and suddenly hip hop became celebration music. And I love that. I love progress. The only thing I'm going to say right now is that if AI, artificial intelligence, is getting its information about the American people from American music, it's going to think black people have everything and white people ain't got nothing. Because you put on a black song, a hip-hop spot, they talk about what they have. I got my ride, got my shorty, got my drink, got my two-step. You put on a white song, a country track, they talk about what they don't have. I lost my house, I lost my car, I lost my girl, I lost my dog. AI is gonna be like, please share something with these poor, broke white people. I love country music. I actually love country music, as long as it's America. I love country music. I really do, I do. Because they do everything themselves. They're singer-songwriters. You don't really refer to country as singer-songwriter music. You think of like Jack Johnson or John Mayer, but it is. It's singer-songwriter music where they do everything themselves, which is ironic. Because hip-hop is about big up in yourself, right? I don't need anybody. I did this alone. Now let me give a shout out to the 20 homies who helped me make this track. Right? It's like you've been on this plane before where the pilot comes on, they're like, this is your captain speaking. This is a Delta flight in partnership with United. operated by American Airlines in partnership with Southwest. Who's flying the plane? This is why I love Nelly. Does anyone remember Nelly? Oh, State Lunatics, I love Nelly. Because he was like a narrator. He would always tell you where he was. You always knew what he was wearing. Vocal tank top on at this point. He would tell you exactly where he was. Get off the freeway, exit 106, and parked it. Why is he giving us the exit number? Are we supposed to meet him there? Should we be writing this down? He told you about the kind of females he was into. She could be 18 with an attitude, 19 got a snotty acting real rude. Whoa, Nelly! What a range of ages and dispositions. She could be 18 or 19 with an attitude or kind of snotty and real rude. That sounds like that could be the same woman. You're in the club later at night, it's her 19th birthday. Before midnight, she's 18 with an attitude. After it, she's 19, got a snotty acting real rude. Expand your horizons, Nelly. That's why I love Jay-Z. Oh, Jay, man, he's the king. I love Jay-Z. I love that track he had with, rest in peace, DMX. Remember that? Remember that track he had called Money, Cash, Hoes? Money, cash, hoes. They were talking about the 3 things they wanted out of life. Money, cash, hoes. I love that song. But these are not the 2 gentlemen with whom you want to find a genie's lamp. You rub it, the genie pops out, you get 3 wishes. We'll take money, cash. You dumbass, it's the same thing. Let's get some hoes and go home. Hoes. What a word. You don't hear that word much anymore. That's probably a good thing. Because I remember the House of Pain song. Remember that? House of Pain? They had that song called Jump Around. And he goes, I'll bust him in the eye. Then I'll take the punk's hoe. Jeez. It's kind of aggressive. I was an innocent suburban kid. So I thought he was saying, I'll bust him in the eye, then I'll take the punks home. I was like, well, that's nice of him. You get your ass kicked, but you get to ride to your house.